So you have a suspect in custody. They're completely harmless now, right? Hey guys, what's going on? I hope you are having a fantastic week so far. I was lucky enough to get a day off during the week, so I wanted to get a video out to you guys. I just want to say real quick, I've really enjoyed the time I've spent with you guys on Discord. I've been on Discord a lot lately doing the voice chat and stuff with you guys. So I have thoroughly enjoyed the interaction with you guys. You guys have been asking a lot of good questions. This morning I received an email from my job, and it was a news article of a Missouri officer that was shot in either the neck or head by a handcuffed suspect. The suspect then shot himself in the head and killed himself. Luckily, it looks like the officer is going to be fine. He's in stable condition now. But this sparked an idea for me. Are handcuffed suspects harmless?
Jenny Clementi was one of them. She pulled off an escape in handcuffs.
How does a suspect who's handcuffed,
according to police, had his wrists in handcuffs and behind his back?
When the trooper put him in the police cruiser, slipped one of his hands out of the cuffs.
What the fuck? Fucking kidding me!
I've had a lot of people ask me if I've ever had a problem with somebody in the backseat of my car. In 10 years, the short answer is of course yes, but that's a separate video for a different day. And I always tell people, just because someone is handcuffed does not change their personality. Most of the time, people are calm, there's never any issues with the arrest, they know they're caught, and that's the end of it. But sometimes there's also a few dickheads that want to try to get loose. The sad thing is that there's numerous tutorials online. You guys can go to YouTube, you can go read different news articles and stuff. There are multiple articles and videos out there showing you how to get out of handcuffs. And a lot of these sites claim that it's only for educational purposes and it's to be used if you're ever kidnapped. But let's face the reality of it. Most of the people that are watching those videos, most of them are just curious. Like, most people just want to know, hey, what tricks do people use to actually get out of the handcuffs whenever they're in custody? But a small percentage of those people actually try it. Is it good information to have? I guess so. I mean, if you're curious. But most people aren't watching those videos because they're worried they're about to get kidnapped in their living room. Depending on what the crime is, a lot of times people are very desperate to escape. And unfortunately, if that means you are the obstacle keeping them from freedom, they will take you out without a second thought. So the biggest thing that I try to iterate to new officers is you have to search people thoroughly when they are under arrest. Once an officer places somebody under arrest, they can be searched incident to arrest. Most of the time when I see someone that's not searched very thoroughly, it's usually a new officer. They're nervous, they're trying to remember what they're supposed to do, the protocol, the techniques, everything else, and they end up missing a lot of crucial areas. And I think a lot of new officers get nervous because, heaven forbid, you have to go between somebody's legs to search them. Me personally, I'd rather grab a ball than get shot from behind. And of all the dirty places on a person, trust me, if there's anywhere that's disgusting, it is people's hands. So to answer the title of the video, no, handcuffed people are not harmless. I have seen people who are double jointed, or even aren't double jointed, who are just really flexible, actually slip their cuffs by pulling them from underneath their legs to the front. I've had to handcuff people to their own belts, to seat belts, to whatever else to keep them from doing that. There's even companies online that sell devices that have hidden handcuff keys in them, watches, rings, belts. So anytime somebody goes in the back of my car, the only thing they're going to have on is a t-shirt and pants, and those pants are going to be searched extremely thoroughly. Is it legal to have a handcuff key hidden on you? I guess that just depends on the state. But most logical people are not going to have any need for a handcuff key to be on their person all the time. Another safety thing for me is I will never ever leave the partition on a cage open while I'm transporting somebody. Whether it's a victim, a witness, a suspect, the cage will always be locked, doors will be locked. Do I handcuff victims and witnesses? No, absolutely not. But they are going to be searched before they ride in my car. Another very important thing is to always remember to secure everything you have and watch your suspect. Lock your doors, keep looking at your suspect, keep checking on them, and make sure there's no reason for somebody to be squirming around constantly. If somebody's squirming around after I've told them to stop, then I'm going to park my car, I'm going to pull them out, and I'm going to search them again. Again, you have to use some common sense about this stuff. Most reasonable people are not going to be squirming around in your back seat. It's one thing if the handcuffs are a little uncomfortable, but there's no reason for your whole upper torso to be twisted 90 degrees to the right. Luckily, my department has outfitted our cars with both a dash camera and a camera that watches the back. It has infrared lights, so if you arrest somebody at night, You can still keep an eye on them. The screen is actually split into two, so you can see in front of you and you can see the back seat at the same time. One of my biggest recommendations for people that are getting into law enforcement is this is a very hands-on job. Don't be afraid to go hands-on with people. And I'm not saying you need to kick people's ass. I'm not saying you need to beat people, especially if they're in handcuffs. But don't be afraid to go hands-on if you have to. Hesitation, I've said this before, guys, hesitation will get you killed in this job quicker than anything else. And the very liberal snowflake media is not going to keep you safe at the end of the day. That's up to you. So regardless of the media's opinion, I'm going to keep myself safe. And if there are consequences that stem from that, I'll deal with those later. Again, I'm not encouraging physical violence, guys. Please don't mistake what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you need to keep yourself safe. Use some common sense. Don't be afraid to go hands-on. And people ask me a lot of times, they're like, well, how do you deal with someone of the opposite sex if you're arresting them? I don't treat females any differently than I do men. Granted, I'm not going to pull a Trump on them, but if I arrest a female, I'm going to bring her in front of my car. First of all, I'm going to have my body cam rolling the entire time. I'm going to bring her in front of my car, and I'm going to pat her down with the back of my hand. And that is only if there are no female officers available. Of course, my first option is going to be to call a female officer. They'll come over, they'll shake their bra, they'll do, different techniques that only a female would be able to do. But if a female officer isn't around, you use what you have and just use the back of your hands. Just make sure everything, especially these days, guys, with all these sexual assault allegations in the news, just be careful and make sure everything is on camera. I'm not saying that every female is going to falsely accuse you of something, but you also don't wear a seatbelt because you're expecting to get into an accident. It's surprising that so many people think that just because they fight the handcuffs or they slip them or whatever, that you're just supposed to let them go, or you're just supposed to let them ride with their hands in front. I'm sorry, nobody rides with their hands in front of them when they're handcuffed in my car. I can't stand when officers do that. That is such a huge safety risk. But this is one of those times where I become very firm, and if you're under arrest, you don't run the show. Your chance is over to make good decisions. So now I have to make these decisions for you. Well, that is it for today, guys. I appreciate you joining me. I don't have a lot of time, so I know this video was kind of quick, and I will see you guys very, very soon.